What's up? This is your Captain Icetitan 123 here with another Icetitan Reads Bleach fanfiction part 15. So I think a few videos back I said that one of the chapters was originally two chapters were originally one chapter, but that's not. But I was wrong. This is the actual. These two chapters they were originally one big chapter. So what the last video I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm butchering these names. Took her to the training ground and heart stealing out of angle. He basically took out all of his angle he had and unleashed it. And we are gonna find out what happens next. Well, you guys all, I already know what happens, but this is for the people who have not read ahead and are reading with me, and I do kind of doubt that there is anyone reading with me, but if there is, okay. So let's get into this chapter. But yeah, this is part number 15. Let's get into this chapter. The three of them helped me stand, and I let Adriad steady me the whole way as I wobbled back to my room. Once there, she assisted me in removing the clothing Chia had so carefully dressed me, and only to put me right back into an oi. I'm sorry. If any of you knows how to say some of these words, please comment down below, because I am butchering these words. I cannot move my fingers as she carefully moved my hand and arm through the sleeve of the soft, unbleached cotton. She directed me to my bed, and I lay down, staring at the roof. Action. What the hell was that about? She insisted. I didn't answer. I just kept staring. She started to speak once more when I held the door open. He barred the best healer from now Kame entered and started asking questions. Media began to explain, but he cut her off as he reached my bed. He poked about the puffy bruises that was forming on my right shin. I sucked in a breath, and he grabbed my hand, and even with gentle manipulations, I was unable to prevent crying out. My entire left hand was a ghastly, swollen, purplish mass. Damn, yeah, I obviously cannot see what actually happened to her hand, but the way this is written, my hand hurts thinking about it. I'm not even joking, it hurts thinking about it. He stared long and hard into my eyes. His eyes went wide in amazement for a moment, and then he nodded. Polite but firm, he insisted maybe I'd leave us alone. Like always, she protested, but complied. He pulled something out of the bag he had slung over his shoulder. It was a slender bar with a thick gray goo within. He uncorked it and let a small amount ooze onto my knuckles. An odd burning sensation began to spread through my hand. The moment it seemed it was going to drip onto the floor, he began to walk it into each knuckle. I grabbed and stuffed my face into my pillow to prevent others from hearing my scream. The pain of the wounds healing and the breaks mending was worse than the initial injury. I wiped tears before lowering the pillow. After a few minutes, he moved my fingers, and they all flexed and strengthened freely. The swelling and discoloration was gone. And for anyone out there who has ever broken a bone, in your hand or your leg or your arm, and you always wonder why you can't heal faster, that's why. Because it hurts more than the actual injury. That's why. So if you ever break a bone in the future, or if you break multiple bones in your hand, don't wish that it could heal faster, because you're not gonna like the end results. Just saying. Okay. Anyway, he's not been this careless since his youth. He stated as he moved to the bruise on my shin. I should leave this one. Not for you, my deal, and Wagnite, but for him as a reminder. I looked at him curiously, both of what he said and that he'd use a title I no longer dissolved. He said no more, and treated the wound upon my shin. I didn't understand, and I felt I needed to press. Why would you call me that? I failed all of you. He let a brief smile form and pass. All that training and still so very much too long. Too much that cannot be learned in a hall nor a book. he placed the ball back into his bag and left. I had no idea what he was talking about. Leaving naughty bruise on me as a reminder for him. Deal. And a reminder of all for what? I sighed. My body was healed, but that was all. I was already crushed by Renji's reaction and rejection. My dissolved shame and humiliation being paraded about still felt like Adrian's kicked to my face. He wanted to haunt me. Dio had wanted to haunt me. Not only had he succeeded, he was pleased in doing so. Not once in so much time had that ever happened. Even when he was still training me, he'd strike a blow that hurt as a lesson, but then explain or apologize after. So something else, and I did not understand. I did not understand, but I really didn't have to. I had no place. I had no purpose. Let the damned hollow take me. There'll be nothing left of me than they need to defeat and destroy it. I managed to blink the first few tears anyway, but after that decided that no longer mattered. I clutched my pillow to my face again so no one would hear and come in, and cried myself to sleep. Alright. At this point, she's pretty much in a, she's been in a downward spiral since she's arrived back at the spiel, and she just keeps on getting hit lower and lower and lower, and I would say that definitely she's really at the end of her rope. But one thing that I love about Siani, even though it does seem like she is going to break, that she has no strength left, the way she is written, she's just a strong character. She is. She's a very strong character. And if this was not fan fiction, I would have loved if this character and the overall plot of this story was actually canon. Because especially with where in the Bleach timeline it takes place, and and again it would take the place of the battle arc, which is already filler. So, I mean, so yeah, this would be a perfect replacement. But yeah, anyway. That's how I spent the next several days, possibly even a week or two. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to get up. I simply alternated between hazy half sleep and laying turned away from the door, staring at the wall, trying desperately to discover how I could have changed things. That's when the tears would fall once more. Lost all sense of day and night. People came into my room and spoke, but I never gave a moment of attention. I had no idea who had come and gone, nor what was said. It didn't matter. Nothing did. Just lay in wait for the hollow to become cohesive again, and then it would all just be over. On the day I found it particularly difficult to even open my eyes, I felt myself raised up and held in a slightly inclined position. Something was held to my mouth, and a hard-tasting liquid poured into my mouth. I choked and coughed and tried to spit it out. This continued 4 or 5 more times. Eventually, my body's own instincts took over, and I was racked by a dire thirst. My hands weakly clutched at the cup and drained the contents. Someone tried to remove the cup from my hand, but I could not get my fingers to release it. It was refilled. Some little liquid splattered on my face, and I drained it again. Eventually, I felt able to open my eyes. I found Hebhard standing next to my bed, holding a super gourd. Maybe I stood across from the bed at the table. She looked horribly worried. I wondered to myself what had happened. Well, there she is, Hebhard said cheerfully. I take it I can trust you with this, he asked, looking past me. Yes, replied a voice behind my head. I turned my head around and found myself being held by Theo. Panic surged up within me, and I tried to pull away from him, but found myself unable. He didn't even seem to be holding me that tightly. He was here to finish what he started in the training hall. I knew it. I couldn't make my body respond. I could not move. We'll be fine, Theo said softly. Hebhard put the gourd down on the table and shuffled maybe out of my room. She went hesitantly and with vocal protest. My head felt heavy and everything seemed fuzzy, even in my thoughts. What had happened that Hebhard would heal again so soon? Mia was saying she was concerned about leaving me alone with Theo. Why was he here? His hand came to a cup I was still holding and carefully removed it from my grasp. He moved a couple of pillows to keep me upright so he could place the cup on the table. He immediately returned to the bed and moved in behind me. He moved slowly, so I was leaning against him. I wanted to resist him, but just felt so tired. When his large hand moved to stroke my head, I was powerless. I nearly melted into him. It was so very soothing. Soon after, I felt his whole body quake. I looked up at him and was terrified to find him crying. I'd only seen him cry once. That had been so very long ago. I was still a child. I raised myself slowly to my knees and turned to face him. Hesitantly, I rested my right hand upon his cheek. I rested my right hand on his cheek. Scruffy hair framed his jaw. He not shaved in ages, and that was exceptionally uncharacteristic. Lifted his head, and within the moment of our eyes meeting, he grabbed me and pulled me to him. He cried harder. I was still utterly confused, but I held him tightly, hoping he would calm and explain. What the hell was this? See, he whispered, sniffling next to my ear. It was because of me, wasn't it? He was asking me what because of him. His sobs began to cease, and that's when he answered. When the answers occurred to me, and I remembered. I remembered my outburst and the events in the training hall. I remembered giving up. I remembered it seemed best for everyone. I left nothing but turmoil in my wake on my first assignment, both here and in the Icetitan. Miserably shattered anyone's hopes for expectations of me in any and all capacities. No, this hadn't been because of him. While perhaps callous, it had all been me from the very beginning. I sink back down onto my bed and just let go and found myself crying again. Not hard, I was too dehydrated. He crooked a finger under my chin to raise my head. I kept my eyes lowered. I couldn't bring myself to look at him. His other hand came up and caressed my cheek. I lifted my right hand to his. He immediately moved it to engulf mine within his, and he held it. I couldn't believe how timid and insecure I was feeling. It had been so long, years, since we'd been like this. Slowly I raised my eyes to meet his. Gone was the cold hard stare, the anger. Sadly, what had replaced it was worry and guilt. His right hand slid from my chin and fumbled to find my other hand. Now that I couldn't stop gazing into his spectacular green eyes. His behavior since my return had been so boggling to me. I wanted to ask him, but found myself unable. He released me and stood next to the bed, like he had the day of my arrival. He scooped me into his arms, carried me into the bathing area. He lowered me slowly and carefully with the heat on. I'm assuming that's still term for bathrobe. I'm actually gonna check real fast. Just give me a moment here. Well, okay. Well, not a bathrobe, but it's, you know, like, well, it's a night cloth. So, you know, it's basically the same thing. Alright. Once I was sitting, he helped me out of it and draped it on the side of the tub. The water was exactly how I liked it, just on the edge of scalding. He took a towel and doubled it over across the edge of the tub and just showed me to use it as a sort of pillow, which I did. I'll be right back, he said, then walked back out into the bedroom. I still felt I had to admit it. Weak as I lounged in the tub, I wasn't sure I could have walked from my bed to the tub unaided. Probably would have fallen trying to remove any clothing. A sensation of my thoughts being fogged in was dissipating. I assume because of the nasty elixir or whatever it was Apod had provided. The clearer my thoughts became, the stronger the awareness of my actions became. Had it all been me, or was this the horror once more using my emotions against me to advance upon me again? Thus far, each time my emotions flared and were overwhelming me in advance. Surely me broken would be more easily conquered. Theo returned shirtless like last time, but his skin was marked with bruises and abrasions. He knelt beside the tub again before initiating the bathing process. He answered my questioning look. Don't fret about it. We'll talk later. He said nothing more, and I found myself relaxing, but at the same time nervous, as if this was a completely new and unexpected activity. He bathed me a bit more leisurely than last time. He dried me off quickly and much more thoroughly, towel-dried my hair before placing me in another. I'm just gonna use the English term nightcloth, because I can't pronounce that word. I can't. He lifted me up and carried me back to bed. I noticed the moment he set me down, the bedding had been replaced. That's what he had been doing while I was soaking. He refilled the cup from the substance in the gourd and brought it to me. I know it's horrible, he said, handing me the cup, but Ebard said this only for now, and food tomorrow. I warned the boy not to argue with him. I lifted it to my mouth and was assaulted by a scent of overpowering sweetness. One sip and I almost spat it out. Fully awake and aware this time, I could really taste it. Full, fruity, and too many herbs. I held my breath and gulped it down until the cup was empty again. He took the cup from me and placed it back on the table. He settled me into bed and lay next to me on top of the bed cloth. I sank into the pillow and reached out and held tight to one of his hands. He stroked my hair with the other, and he began telling me of his boyhood encounters with Leapard. I drifted peacefully to sleep to his calm, deep voice and reassuring presence, and that is the chapter. Like I actually said, last week's chapter, plus also this chapter, this was the super long chapter that had to be cut in half. I actually thought it was actually before, but yeah, it is of course this. But of course, this site does not really care. Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't exactly care. You know, if you know, if the chapter is extra long, once you hit the word limit, it's time to you have to start a new chapter. It's going to number the chapters. It's going to title the chapters as it sees fit. But yeah, overall, putting this with last week's chapter, the pacing is very, very good. The relationship between Siani and the relationship between Siani and Tio seems to be picking back up, but at the same time, there is something coming, and I forget when exactly it is. I'm gonna have to look. Okay, yeah, it's in 2 chapters, I think. Yeah. But yeah. Sorry. But yeah, there is some very good development for Theo's character with week's chapter, plus also especially this week's. I wouldn't call Harding Johnny actually wanting to actually hold an actual step forward. That's more of a step back, but the fact that he was crying, he felt so guilty about doing that. He was pretty much, he was a mess. Reading through all of that, he was an absolute wreck. He let his anger take over. He let his anger just go, which and which is obviously something he probably hasn't done, and like Epod said, since he was young. And the thing is, Teal, he's old. He is old. And I will actually tell you just how old he is. If I can, okay. Yeah, alright. His appearance is 40-ish. But he is about 450 years old. So, once again, he's old. So, it had been a long time since he had let his anger take control of him like that. And you see the results, and that wasn't even a real serious, like, to the death kind of fight. I don't think if it actually was if it was like a fight to the death, and he let his anger get the better of him, I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. I just really wouldn't. But yeah, overall, both this actual chapter plus the last week's together, great pacing, good character to development. The actual relationship between them is starting to get better, and it will get better. I think it will get better with next week's chapter. But yeah, that's all that I have to say for this actual video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with your friends. This is your captain, Icetitan 123, signing out. Peace.